Center for the Ethiopian Educational Information and Communication Technology presents Educational Satellite Television Programs.
Hello teacher, hello students. Welcome to today's lesson on the reciprocals of the basic trigonometrical functions. We are going to learn about the three reciprocals of the sine, cosine, and tangent functions. These are named the cosecant, secant, and cotangent. That means what you have all learned about sines, cosines, and tangents is going to be very helpful to you today. Are you ready, students? Let us begin the lesson. First, I would like you to take 2 minutes to write down the sine, cosine, and tangent values for angle H in this shape. Please do that now.
Students, let's get ready. Begin. Time's up. Let's get back to our lesson.
As we have learned already, the sine for angle H is A over C. The cosine is B over C. The tangent is A over B. Next, students, we will learn about reciprocal functions. What is a reciprocal? In mathematics, it means the multiplicative inverse, also called the opposite. That means that if you have a function that is a over b, the reciprocal of that function is b over a. Let us do an example. In this diagram, alpha is a standard angle and a is a point on the far side of the angle. This is also called the terminal side. The symbol C represents the distance of A from the origin point. The cosecant is the ratio of length of the hypotenuse to the length of the opposite side. In this case, that would be C over Y. The secant is the ratio of the length of the hypotenuse to the length of the adjacent side. We see here that it is C over A. Finally, the cotangent is the ratio of the length of the adjacent side to the length of the opposite side. Can you guess what that is represented as here? You guessed it, students. It is A over Y. You see, they are very much like the functions we have already learned. Please take some time to plot out the three reciprocal functions of angle H in this triangle. Please do your best to discover them.
Students, let's get ready. Begin. Time's up. Let's get back to our lesson.
Welcome back, students. Let us go through the correct answers together. The cosecant is C over A. The secant is C over B. Finally, the cotangent is B over A. I am sure you understand the relationships between the 6 basic functions of trigonometry by now. But did you notice anything strange about your answers for this exercise? Let us look at the problem again. If we look at the answers you found for angle H, we find that they are just as useful for angle S. S and H are what we call complementary angles, which means they add up to 90 degrees. You will also notice that the sine angle for H, A over C, is also the cosine angle for S. The cotangent for H becomes the tangent for S. Each function has a companion, a friend who has just the same value. How is this possible? The reason, students, is because sine and cosine are called cofunctions. Each function in trigonometry has a cofunction. Any function we might do on a complementary angle will have a cofunction on the other angle. Sometimes a tricky trigonometry problem will become easier if we write a function in terms of its cofunctions. So, the next time you are having trouble finding the sine of a particular angle, try finding its cosine instead. Let us try applying this to some basic problems now. This will help us to establish the relationships between functions and cofunctions. Please find the values of the cosecant, the secant, and the cotangent of these angles. You may start now, students.
Students, let's get ready. Begin. Time's up. Let's get back to our lesson.
Hello again, students. Were you able to figure out the co-functions for each of these angles? Let us compare our answers. When our angle is 60, we find the cosecant to be equal to 2 times the square root of 3 over 3. The secant is equal to 2, and the cotangent is equal to the square root of 3 over 3. You will notice that our answers are similar when the angle is 240 degrees. This time, the cosecant, secant, and cotangent are negative 2 times root 3 over 3, negative 2, and negative root 3 over 3. When our angle is negative 405 degrees, the situation changes. The cosecant is negative the square root of 2. The secant is the square root of 2. The cotangent is negative 1. Good work, students! That is all for this lesson, students. We have learned about cosecants, secants, and cotangents. We have begun to learn their relationships with the primary functions. In the next lesson, we will learn more about complementary angles and co-functions and how to solve problems using these tools. Until then, thank you, teacher. Thank you, students.